Hey guys, this is an examples video of clearing fractions from linear equations, but with all problems that have parentheses in them. So I have broken this down in a lesson video in quite a bit of detail, and then this is just like if you want to see more examples. So if you want to see a better breakdown of this, consider checking out the lesson video. So here are the 4 examples I'm going to go through in this video. So if there's a particular one that you want to see, you can just fast forward to it. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. So starting with this first one. So I've got 1/2 times 3x minus 2 minus 2/5 times 2x minus 3 equals 1/5 times x plus 1. Okay, so first things first, you have to find the least common denominator of 1/2, 2/5, and 1/5. And so that would be just 10 in this case. So what I talked about in the lesson video is identifying kind of how many terms you have or how many parts of the problem you have. So it's basically what's separated by the plus, minus, or equal sign. So in this case, here's kind of a part, and here's a part, and here's a part. So that's where we're going to start, or that's how many times we're going to multiply by. So if I set this up, this is what it's going to look like. I've got 10 times 1/2, and then this 3x minus 2 minus 10 times 2/5 times 2x minus 3 equals 10 times 1/5 times x plus 1. Okay, so the idea here is because this is eventually going to get distributed in, you don't need to multiply this in the parentheses, and I broke this down more in that lesson video. So all I have to do then really is just figure out what to do with the fractions. So 2 goes into 10 how many times? It goes in 5 times, so this is what I have to multiply together. The 5 times the 1, so that's going to be 5, and I leave just the parentheses alone for right now, okay? All right, so now the 5 goes into the 10 twice, so that's going to leave me with this 2 times 2 here, so that's 4, oops, a little writing error, okay, and then I leave the 2x minus 3 intact, and then this last one, so 5 goes into 10 twice, and so then I've got the 2 times the 1, so that's 2, and then that's x plus 1. Okay, so now from here I can just solve the problem like I normally would. So I can distribute and go on from there. So I'll go ahead and start that. So I've got 15x minus 10. Now be careful with this next part. This is a -4. So distributing the -4 in, this becomes minus 8x plus 12 equals 2x plus 2. And then I can collect my like terms on the left side. So this is going to be 7x plus 2 equals 2x plus 2. And then I like to bring the x's over first, so I'll subtract off the 2x. So this becomes 5x plus 2 equals 2. And then I can subtract off the 2's, so I get 5x equals 0. And then divide both sides by 5 to get x equals 0 as my answer. Okay, so moving on to this next one. So 3/4 times 3x plus 5 plus 1/2 times 2 minus 3x equals 3/4 times 2x plus 1. And by the way, if you want to pause the video to try this first, go for it. So the LCD here is going to be 4, so I'm going to set this up. So I'm going to multiply 4 times each part. So in this case, here's the first part, this 3/4 times 4x plus 5. And then the next part is 4 times this 1/2, 2 minus 3x. And then we've got 4 times the 3/4, and then 2x plus 1. And so just to reiterate that one more time, so you've got the 3 parts. So it's really what's separated by the plus, minus, or equal sign. So that's how you can kind of determine that. All right, so now 4 goes into 4 one time. And so that leaves me with this 1 times 3. So the 3 goes out in front, and I leave the parentheses intact for now. And then moving on to the next one, 2 goes into 4 2 times. So this is going to leave me with 2 in front, and I leave the parentheses intact. And then 4 goes into 4 once. So 1 times 3 is 3. And so then here's what I'm left with. And so now I can go ahead and distribute and do all that good stuff. So let's start that. So distributing the 3, this is going to get me 12x plus 15. And then distributing the 2, this will be plus 4 minus 6x. And then I can distribute that 3 to get 6x plus 3. And so now I can collect my like terms. So this side will become 6x plus 19 equals 6x plus 3. And then I always like to start with the x's, so I'll go ahead and subtract off the 6x. Now look at what happens in this. 6x minus 6x actually means that the 6x's drop out. So I'm left with 19 equals 3. What is the interpretation of that? Well, this doesn't make any sense, right? 19 does not equal 3. So the interpretation then is that there is no solution, which sometimes people use this symbol. Okay, so moving on to C here, so get 1/2 times 2x plus 3 minus 1/3 times 2x minus 1 equals 1/4 times x plus 7. So my LCD in this case is 12. So first I'm going to go ahead and set everything up. Okay, so there's everything set up. So now we can go through and start making cancellations. So 2 goes into 12 6 times. And then 6 times 1 is just 6, and then I'll leave the rest of the parentheses intact. And then moving on, 3 goes into 12 4 times, so 4 times 1 will just leave me with 4. And I leave the parentheses, I'll leave the parentheses intact. Sometimes writing it down is like half the battle. And then 4 goes into 12 3 times, so that's 3, and then here's the x plus 7. So now we can go ahead and distribute. So this will be 12x plus 18 minus 8x plus 4. Make sure you recognize that's a minus 4, so be careful when you distribute. And then this is 3x plus 21. So collecting my like terms, I get 4x plus 22 equals 3x plus 21. So I always like to subtract off my x's first. So I get x plus 22 equals 21. So then I'll subtract off the 22 from each side, and ultimately I get that x equals -1. And now for the last one, we've got 3/4 times 2x minus 1 plus 5/8 times 2 minus 4x equals 1/4 times 2 minus 4x. So the LCD in this case is 8. So I'll set this up. Okay, so now let's go through this. 4 goes into 8 twice. So it leaves me a 6 here, and then I've got this 2x minus 1. 8 goes into 8 once, so this will be just 5 in front, and then this 2 minus 4x. And then 4 goes into 8 twice, so this will be 2 times 2 minus 4x. Okay, so let's start distributing. So this will be 12x minus 6 plus 10 minus 20x equals 4 minus 8x. So now I can go ahead and collect my like terms. So this side will be, let's see, negative 8x plus 4 equals 4 minus 8x. Now you might already see what the solution is, but I'm going to complete this. So I'll go ahead and add 8x to each side. So notice what happens here. Negative 8x plus 8x, those drop out. So I'm left with 4 equals 4. Now that's a true statement. That's always true. So when that happens, or you could have had 0 equals 0, or you could have had 8x equals 8x, whatever. But no matter which way you got this, the interpretation is the same. That means that there's infinite solutions. So that's the really important thing, is that you actually write out and interpret it. And so that'll do it for this video, guys. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Got any questions, you can leave me a comment. I'll talk to you guys next time.